Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, everybody. We are back in our groove of our Friday readings, right? Wonderful to see you all. Let me just get this squared away. How is everybody doing? Ready for the weekend? Is the weekend ready for you? uh, I'll give you just a real quick update for those that don't know. We reposted it on Instagram. So we finished, or I completed the narration of Access Superconsciousness, my new book that comes out August 8th. Uh, you will absolutely love it. There are 24 mind-blowing teachings and 24 life-changing meditations that go with each one of those, plus some other special treats in there. So if you haven't pre-ordered the paperback, go ahead and do so. And I can't urge you enough to pre-order the Audible. It went extremely well. I'm very, very excited for you to have these teachings and to be able to hear it in my voice, because I think it makes a world of difference. So that's coming. The pre-order is available now, and it comes out August 8th. Another quick bit of news. I urge you to join me in Dallas, July 26th, 27th, and 28th for a workshop, and it'll be completely and utterly focused on healing. And I'm going to be teaching you things. You're going to be experiencing things that you've never experienced in your life. It's going to change your health mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically, in ways that you actually can't imagine at this moment. So that's at the very end, and I believe there's a link in there. There it is. Yeah, that's at the very end of July. And if you can, don't wait till the last minute, because it's starting to get full, and if everyone waits at the last minute, it throws off availability. About 2 weeks after that, we're going to be doing our live online course of Supercharged Self-Healing. So July, the end of July, and then about 2 weeks after that. So the workshop and the course itself go together beautifully. That's why we're doing them at the same time. So if anyone is in need of healing, mental, emotional, physical, purely energetic, this will be life-changing. This will be completely and utterly life-changing on the deepest levels. Okay, I think that's it. Well, if you can't make Dallas, you can certainly make the online event, because there's no travel required. So, but you will get more out of them than I can even put into words. Okay, was there something else? Well, we're going to get to the very important book in a second. I think that's it, right? I think that's it. Oh, that's right. If you're not on the newsletter on the website, there will be a very special email that goes out tomorrow morning. You don't want to miss it. That's all I'm going to say. Such a tease. That's all I'm going to say. Don't miss the email that goes out tomorrow morning. So if you're not signed up for the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter right on the website. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Bill. Well, it'll come to fruition tomorrow. You'll see it, and you're going to be glad that you saw it right away. Okay. Let's get to it. Oh, by the way, put it in the chat. We are thinking about getting peacocks. We're thinking about getting peacocks. Does anybody have peacocks? And what are they like? So our property is totally fenced in, so they'll be protected and safe, and it's quite spacious. So a friend of ours had peacocks as a kid, and she's been telling us, you got to get peacocks. So please, very noisy. Okay. And I'll read the chat. Obviously I can't read it once I start reading, but I'll take a look at the chat. If anybody has some inside info on peacocks, please please put it in there. I heard they can be aggressive. I will read this later. Otherwise, I will get very distracted. We'll talk about peacocks for 20 minutes. Okay. I said I would update you on one more thing in terms of the birds. So we have the one house that was built that they've already had about five little birds. There's more eggs in there. We put right next to it, we hung a wooden or a man-made birdhouse, and a completely different kind of bird. And they're only about 6 feet from each other, maybe less, actually. They're right next to each other. Now, in the man-made wood birdhouse, this is the bird that has decided to nest there. So it is a purple martin right there. Right there. And our windows, we have the door that leads out to the back patio, and we have a bunch of windows there too. We have some camping chairs that are set up right there. So the purple martin and some of the other birds have been sitting on the back of the camping chairs facing in. So sometimes we'll walk past there and there'll be 5 birds about 10 inches from the window facing, looking in, not looking out to the backyard and all that kind of stuff, just looking in. It's pretty trippy, and they're so used to us walking by, they don't even move. It's just funny. But so it's the purple martin that has decided to nest in the wood house. And I also read here that frequently nests within 100 feet of a human dwelling. And in fact, the most successful colonies are located within that distance. So, and they love dragonflies and mosquitoes. And we've had a ton of dragonflies. So I think it's like a buffet for them. Knock on wood, we haven't had mosquito issues. We didn't have them last summer either. Everyone said, wait till the mosquitoes come. It didn't happen. Knock on wood. Okay, but purple martin, that's our other guest. Okay. And of course, there's a bunch of other birds that come to the feeders as well, both in the back and in the front. So we'll go over some of them too. Okay. It is hottest next to the fire. Okay. All right, my friends. We know what time it is. Okay. Supercharged Self-Healing, a revolutionary guide to access high-frequency states of consciousness that rejuvenate and repair. Closing in on its 10th printing. Amazing. Closing in on its 10th printing. Incredible. Thank you so much. Okay. I set out to write the greatest book ever written on self-healing. That was my intention, for you to liberate yourself on the deepest levels. Okay. So, if you're playing along at home, and I know some of you are, okay, so where we left off is 91 and step 2, shortcuts to separate yourself from your doubts. Okay, that's where we left off, and that is exactly where we're going to pick up right now. Okay. And my voice is, surprisingly, okay after reading Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday was a full day of narration, about 5 hours, and I only took a 10-minute break, so I read about 5 hours straight. And then Thursday we only had maybe 2 hours yesterday, and I had read for 5 hours before we held our Kauai workshop. I only went in for 1 day. So in total, it took about 12 hours of reading. But I think breaking it up that way saved my voice. Okay. All right. Are we good to go? Yeah, a lot of reading, Bill. A lot of reading. Okay. All right, everybody. Page 91, step 2. Okay. Let me do this. All righty. Step 2. Shortcuts to separate yourself from your doubts. Here are some practices you can make use of to help counter any doubts you may have. Countering doubt pop-ins. In step one's shortcut practices in the previous chapter, there were two that you should refer back to in order to counter doubts that pop into your mind. These practices are clear old disharmonious thought patterns and clear old disharmonious emotional patterns on page 71 and page 72. Unfollow your doubts. One way to help separate yourself from doubt is to unfollow or mute those you follow on social media, or step away from it entirely for a while. You can craft a note of explanation to give friends and family, letting them know about certain topics that you don't want to discuss while you are in your healing mode. You could also designate someone else to do this for you if you don't want to focus your energy on it. Here is a sample letter that you can build on when creating your own letter. Dear blank, as you may or may not know, I have been tasked with a personal health challenge that requires my complete attention and full focus. Moving forward, I will be refraining from my usual interactions and communications in order to harness my energies in the needed direction for the return of my health and greater well-being. This is not a personal slight, judgment, or rebuke of you or anyone in any way. I have simply chosen to be single-minded in my focus in order to give myself the energy and attention I need to heal at this time. If you wish to receive updates about me or have questions, please contact blank. I thank you in advance for your respect and understanding regarding my decision to focus on myself at this time. In addition to permanent chest-down paralysis, I was also diagnosed with sepsis, type 1 diabetes, hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's autoimmune disease, pancreatitis, a retracted heart, and a nodular thyroid. I was physically weak beyond belief. So I would not and could not waste a single breath, thought, emotion, or action. Every bit of energy and intention needed to be directly in line with what I was going to achieve through my fixed intention of my indomitable will and the complete detachment from any future result. I maintained a permanent state of powerful, conscious creation. I asked Jennifer, my partner at the time, to tell everyone to please not contact me. She would provide updates to them. I never gave this situation another thought. And Jennifer never again mentioned well-meaning family members and friends who wanted to talk to me. They respected my wishes, and the people closest to me, upon hearing the severity of my hopeless situation, even told Jennifer they fully expected me to recover. The healing opportunity and space I created and accessed within myself extended outward as well. I did not have any disturbances while in the rehabilitation hospital. I requested that my door be shut at all times. I refused to accept any noise, conversation, or negative energy from the hallway that would affect my process of manifesting my healing. My only recurring guest was my acupuncturist, Adrian. Jennifer was unable to visit me due to her own severe back injury that would eventually require surgery. She kept the severity of her injury from me during our daily video chats as she literally could not sit or walk. My hospital room was a high frequency zone because of my elevated state of consciousness. It was so peaceful that staff members would ask if they could silently sit in my room while they were on their lunch break. The high frequency healing energy was palpable. Think about people you've been around who leave you out of sorts, depressed, or drained. Or those who lift your frequency and make you feel peaceful, joyful, and uplifted. That's proof of how our own frequency affects others and how theirs affects us. You must always be aware of your frequency and that of the environment around you. It's for your own protection to stay away from those who affect you adversely during your healing process. Let nothing interfere with what you're trying to achieve. Everything must be done in accordance with the single pointedness of precisely what you want to achieve. If something isn't, remove it immediately. Remove all obstacles, both physical and intangible. I had all the literature and videos regarding how to live with paralysis as well as disease removed from my hospital room. I replaced them with a gentle mister for aromatherapy and crystals. I kindly but forcibly told the staff that I had no interest in hearing stories of all those patients who came before me who did not recover from their traumatic spinal injury and severe chronic illness. Instead, I offered to explain one time how I would heal myself from chest down paralysis and severe illness. That, on occasion, depending upon my energy level, I would briefly elaborate on if they wish to sincerely discuss it with me. If there are no more obstacles, no more limitations, and your unwavering intention is permanently fixed and fully unionized with the total self, there exists nothing but the inevitable manifestation of the achievement. I never had a single thought that I wouldn't walk again. Not one. A true master creator only thinks about what it intends to manifest. The transient egoic identity is limitation itself, and mine had been destroyed along with my physical body. My old operating system had been eradicated. It was replaced with an enhanced, more powerful, and sensitive processor, cosmic consciousness. I was in a state of grace and was totally free, even though my body had been destroyed and I couldn't feel or move from the chest down. I had awakened. My physical body was so damaged that I couldn't even cough or gather enough air in my lungs to laugh. To move my legs a fraction of an inch was an impossibility. I saw healing my body as a challenge, nothing more, nothing less. I gave this challenge absolutely no weight. I simply accepted that the body was experiencing temporary paralysis and that the temporary placeholder, the fictional character called RJ, had been diagnosed with the infection and all the diseases. That's how I verbalize it. I never identified with any of it, and therefore it didn't have any power over me. I accepted it as something so simply, I accepted it as something to simply work with and transcend. And so it shall be for you. Don't be fooled by your own expectations. They're also a form of limitation. Unless what you're trying to achieve comes in your expected form or anticipated route, you will not be open to the infinite possible possibilities the achievement can manifest, and therefore it will not be in your realm of perception. In this sense, expectations, even of the grandest sense, are actual limitations. The finite mind cannot see this, but the luminous eyes of timeless wisdom are never blinded. Client example. Carl is in his mid-30s and a well-known entrepreneur. He, his accomplished wife, and their 5 young children live in New York City and have for many years. When he was referred to me, he was suffering from high stress, which had led to a large weight gain and subsequent health issues. His self-image, due to the weight gain, had developed into a crushing fear of public speaking, all of which were negatively impacting his career and personal life. During our first video remote session, Carl shared that he leads his entire company's innovation, which relies on his genius level creative. My mouth is tired from all the reading I've done. I apologize. Which relies on his genius level creative problem solving abilities. He was expected to exceed expectations for his internationally renowned corporate clients and meet one tight deadline after another. His battle with stress and subsequent health challenges created doubt in his ability to keep outdoing himself. In addition to his own responsibilities, he had to make sure his company was performing at the highest levels possible. I explained step 2 to him of knowing exactly what you are going to achieve through desire and setting intention, and asked him what he wanted to achieve during our time together. He said he wanted to achieve 4 very specific things: alleviate his stress, lose weight and get healthy, feel confident that his creativity would not run dry, and overcome his now acute fear of public speaking. First, I addressed how true creativity never wanes because it's the activity of the higher mind. This entire book and how I help others is from a similar perspective. Higher consciousness accesses the information beyond the low frequencies. It's the low frequencies that create the finite mind. Carl is a creative genius and is able to consistently outdo himself because he's able to stay consistently attuned to his higher mind. I explained that everything already exists, and truly creative people like Carl are simply tapping into what is beyond the realm of our 5 senses and the intellect. This revelation greatly eased Carl's doubt regarding his ability to perpetually deliver on a high level. He reported that within 1 week, his stress level markedly dissipated and his self-confidence at delivering at genius level creativity returned. Next, we tackled Carl's weight gain and subsequent poor health. Carl was specific and stated that he wanted to lose 30 pounds and lower his blood sugar by 1/3. I instructed him to begin eating just 2 meals a day, always at the same times and intervals. That combined would not exceed, and those 2 meals combined would not exceed 1,200 calories. He must avoid all processed foods and starchy carbohydrates and limit dairy. His body needed vegetables, nuts, and lean proteins in order to slim down, have energy, and reduce insulin levels. In the appendix of this book, I go into great detail from a higher consciousness perspective regarding diet and fasting, what really happens, and when repair healing occurs within the body. I also told Carl he could enjoy as much green tea and black coffee as desired for mental acumen and digestion. Within 2 weeks of implementing these changes, Carl lost 10 pounds and his daily blood sugar readings had dropped 25%. He could not believe how much better he felt on multiple levels. His final desire to overcome his recent but overwhelming fear of public speaking was a bit more nuanced. I had to cancel my last two presentations with huge international corporations because the thought of presenting in front of the board of directors was too much for me. Too much for who? For me. I feel like I'm going to screw it up as soon as I open my mouth. Who feels like they're going to screw it up? I do. I can feel that they are judging me about my weight. I get too nervous, and now I know I'll just lose the account. This was a big admission for Carl. Now that he was totally honest, we could specifically address the problem from a different perspective. Carl, none of that is true. Your egoic identity is the false who that thinks and feels this way. You are simply identifying with passing phenomena like thoughts and feelings. The beginnings of a smile began to curl around the corner of Carl's mouth as he recognized the truth of what was just said. I felt that. That makes sense. But how do I stop doing this? Because once it starts, it snowballs fast. When you are doing a presentation, what are you trying to achieve? To close the sale? No. That's an ancillary effect of a powerful presentation. What is the original primary objective that you are trying to achieve by giving the presentation? Carl lowered his gaze from mine as he searched within himself for the answer. Then it hit him. To clearly present the elegance and power of my solution to their problem in an engaging way. Exactly. All of your creative genius and formidable acumen will be fine-tuned and online by fully engaging yourself in exactly what you are trying to achieve. Then there is no opportunity for any contradictory thoughts or feelings to occur. Those earlier tiny beginnings of a smile now spread wide across his face. I could see and feel the weight of self-doubt being lifted. I can't believe it's that simple. All that stress and anxiety, I totally forgot the whole point of my presentations and why I used to love doing them. Now that you consciously know what you are specifically trying to achieve during your presentation, you can fully immerse yourself in that once again. You will automatically be supremely engaged. At the deep level of total self-activation, the egoic mind and all its self-judgment disappears. And with it, so will your fears about public speaking. That week, Carl rescheduled his previous two presentations. 2 weeks later, he closed an 8-figure deal after blowing away the board of directors. Over the next 4 months, Carl lost a grand total of 40 pounds and has successfully returned to better health, including an over 30% drop in blood sugar levels. Mission accomplished. Step 2, core exercises. Set your intention and desire. Perform the following exercise only once, and the egoic identity's fears will no longer consume your energy. First, repeat the step 1 exercise, feeling your true essence through observation on pages 82 to 83 until you are completely calm, totally clear, and fully present. Then move on to this portion of practice for step 2. Breathe deeply from the diaphragm. This aligns your conscious mind directly with your sentience. Follow the breath, not your thoughts, until the mind and body are calm. Then, and only then, ask yourself this question: what is it that I am trying to achieve? Let the sentience deep within answer the question. Write down your answer. Do not analyze it or correct the first response. This is your initial desire. Look at it deeply. Read the words that you've written out loud and feel the meaning of each word. See if this statement needs further clarification or could be more specific. If so, repeat steps 1 and 2. Ask yourself, is this exactly what I'm trying to achieve? Modify the initial desire and write it down. And perfectly resonates. Ask yourself once more, is this precisely what it is that I'm trying to achieve? Make the adjustment from your modified desire to your final desire and write it down one last time. Stare at the words you've written. Is this statement the truest, most specific, and accurate desire that you want to achieve? If not, modify it again through the process outlined in the bullet points. When you have uncovered precisely and without a shadow of a doubt what you're trying to achieve, write it down one last time, clearly, with the finality of complete conviction. What started as a mere question has now been transformed into your specific and fixed intention. The future steps of the Ascend the Frequencies healing technique will bring this intention into tangible reality. Okay, my friends, that is a good place to stop because we're going to pick up on page 101. If you're playing along at home, we're going to pick up on page 101 with step 3, activate your healing intention. Okay, let me bookmark it. And then we are good to go for next Friday. And I will make sure to read the live chat if anyone has some insider information on peacocks. Do you ever think I'd be asking you that question for information, insider information on peacocks? Okay. All right. That was interesting. I could feel my jaw and mouth getting tired, or I could feel the effects of all the talking I've done the last 2 days. It's like my jaw was it wasn't forming the words correctly, but and I did my best. I did my best. Okay, this is a good place to stop, my friends. I'm glad we could spend time together, and I hopefully this is the start of a great weekend for you. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, sign up for the newsletter. There's a very, very important email that's going to be going out tomorrow morning, and it's very time sensitive. Very time sensitive. I've been asked what's in the email. I've been asked to address what's in that email for a long time, and I am addressing it. So it's very time sensitive. Okay, so look for that email tomorrow morning. And again, join me in Dallas the end of July 26, 27, 28. And then 2 weeks later, we're going to go right into the online course of Supercharged Self-Healing. And I will have a very special guest who is going to be assisting me in some of the things that I'll be doing the online course of Supercharged Self-Healing. Okay. All right, everybody. It's very nice to see you as always. And let me know about the peacocks, and I'll take a look at this. Okay, everybody. I love you. And I'll see you very soon.